Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning on Regan Says. I hope everybody had an awesome Labor Day weekend. I know I did. I did not do too much. I worked on my stuff. I had family time. Kind of cleaned up my house, just getting some things situated and in order, things that I've been needing to do for a while. So this weekend was really relaxing and I was just able to get a lot done. So I hope you had a great weekend too. And this also makes for a great short week at work because I get to have family time with my immediate family and play kissy face with my husband, which I'm always up for that. So anyway, so let's get into the video. I was talking about relationships, and I kind of have been touching in and out of them for the past month or so. And I was thinking about a conversation that my mother and I had when we were gone out of town a few weeks ago, and just about her marriage, my marriage, relationships in general. And I remember talking to her like years ago and asking her, who showed you how to be married? Who talked to you about marriage? And she told me nobody. And then even for me, she never really talked to me about marriage. But when I kind of sat back and thought about it, because I was thinking about it over the weekend at random, she showed me different things. And she also dropped some gems, like kind of here and there. So that's what I want to talk about. The gems she dropped, the things that I actually do remember pertaining to my husband or pertaining to relationships, the gems that she dropped and the things that she showed me. So I have my handy paper. I just jotted some things down, so you will see me looking down and all around sometimes, and I'll be on some rabbit trails. But y'all, if you watch videos, you already know what I do and how I do. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is what Regan says. This is what my mom showed me and taught me pertaining to relationships and love and life. Okay, so the first thing is she showed me that God is first. My mom she was a living example of who God is or was to her, you know, at the time, or still is. You know, I've always heard the phrase like, sometimes you're the only guy that somebody sees, and that is really the truth. So my mom used to do like these devotionals, which I'm sorry, and I'm being honest, I could not stand them as a kid. She would have these scriptures that she would read and then pull out different questions and then write them down. And then I would have to go and read the Bible verse, and, you know, it reminded me too much of school. And how I'm set up is, if I don't care about something, I don't look at it. I'm not an avid reader. I only read if it's something that interests me. So, or research if it's something that interests me. So when my mom was doing it, I was like, I don't want to do this. But if I took that out of the equation, I always saw her read her Bible. I always saw her in prayer. I always saw her help somebody. I always saw her very involved in the church. But even just seeing that, I saw how God blessed her. Like, I remember there was, a situation specifically, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's her story, where God moved. Like he moved. And I remember thinking, how this happened to the natural eye, it makes no sense. And it was like a few times things like that happen. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It had to be God. Like, even just seeing as a child, this had to be God. And then later as an adult, I went back and said, Mama, do you remember X, Y, and Z? And she was like, yeah, because X, Y, and Z. And it was even hard. And now really it brought my faith up, because I knew the situation then, but now that I knew like the end part of it, I'm like, oh my gosh. So he really moved, like he really made a way out of no way several times. So she always showed me to put God first. So I knew that when I was older or able to serve God and get saved, I knew that he was the guy that I could trust. So that was the first thing that she showed me, that God should be the head of your life, period, point blank. And you should serve him. And she's always served in the church capacity, always. Like, she's given her last, period. I mean, if she ain't give nowhere else, she gave to the church. Still does. So that's a good thing. Okay, so She showed me how to soften my appearance and my tone. So as far as my appearance is concerned, I grew up playing basketball. A lot of people will look at me now and be like, huh? That don't make sense. I was a tomboy from like birth to maybe like a junior in high school, like really boyish. And I wore my hair short, just like real, just boyish, very tomboyish. I didn't start getting feminine until like end of junior year, senior year. Like college was real girly, but I still liked the boy clothes. And I think, and I got my eyebrow pierced. So I think when I really stopped being a tomboy is when I met my husband, when we were dating. And when he first met me and my eyebrow was pierced, he said, I thought you like women. And I was like, oh no, we got to change this. So I like really tried my best to get like really, really girly. So now I'm really, really girly. So people are like, I don't get how you. So anyway, my mom would be like, oh my gosh, you need to soften up and soften. So even with my appearance being kind of hard, whatever I thought, I just said it. I'm still kind of like that, but I'm a lot more censored than I used to be. So if the thought came up, it came out. And she was like, Regan, you're gonna have to stop doing that. And if you know my mom, which most of y'all, some of y'all do, some of y'all don't, we're completely opposite. She's very soft. She's very dainty. She's soft-spoken. It takes a lot for her to get upset. And even if she gets upset, you probably will never know it. Or if you know it, she still won't blow her top. Like I've seen her or even heard her yell in my life, maybe like on one hand, and I still have some fingers left. I mean, that's just her. But me, you're going to know what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, and where you, yeah, we gonna visit all that. So we're totally different in that, but she always taught me how to be a lady, like soften up, be soft, be feminine. You can still be strong and still, have an opinion, but be soft, be a woman, be a lady. So I learned that. It came later and I'm still kind of trying to work on it with a lot of the things, but she taught me how to be soft in my tone and my appearance, because I can be abrasive. I really can. I can, and that's me. But I learned how to pick my battles and choose my battles wisely. Like I had a little situation, and it really wasn't a situation, but an episode this weekend where a person was like not really being forthcoming with information, but acting like they were. And I can't stand that. Like the type of person that I am, as long as I know how we are, whatever our relationship is, friendship, I value my friendships. Like I really do, because I don't have a lot of them. So if I let you into my circle or I let you into my space, I need you to respect our space and respect what we have and be forthcoming with everything, and don't make it like it's one thing, but it's really something else. As long as I know where we're at, we can stay right there, and you can always be open and honest with me, right? And when you're not, it's just like, I want to blow my top, but I let it ride because of Dorothy. So you can thank my mother that I just let it ride, and I'm softening. So anyway, always be presentable, have etiquette. So growing up, and still even now, my mom is always put together. So if you were to go to her house just kind of unannounced, she doesn't have to run and throw something on and try to look decent. Even if she has her headscarf on from the night before, or whenever you're dropping by, it's going to be a nice silk scarf. It's going to be wrapped accordingly. She's going to have on nice pajamas and socks to match or slippers to match. That's just her. I've never seen anything like it. Always put together and never wants to be out of place. So even if she's walking to the mailbox or, running to the store, some people, they have their do-rags on, their bonnets, the pajama pants, no bra, just out there looking crazy. Not my mama. And I remember, this was years ago. I went to my house and ran to her house for something, and I think I had my bonnet on or my scarf or something. I mean, I was like around the house, and she said, "Don't you ever come out of the house like this again." And I mean, she had to say that a few times, because for me, I didn't care. And if you know me, it's like, But she was like, you have got to do better. Like, Regan, you don't need to go out of the house looking like that. Why are you doing it? And that would like mess her up. She would hate that. So just to be presentable. Also etiquette, like the china in the cabinets, like she's got all that stuff. So how to set the table, like even if we come over for like a holiday meal or something, like it's set up. Like she's got the china out, she's got the wine glasses out. But then that's an extension of, you know, what I saw when I was in Detroit. So I've always seen that, you know, the salad fork and the spoon and the soup and that, you know, always that she's always put together. So the correct etiquette and just how to be a lady, how to soften and all that good stuff. So have sex. Okay, so I'm not going to tell this full story because she will be so upset. She's probably going to be upset anyway because I'm talking about her and I did not tell her I was doing this video because she's extremely private. Where I'm transparent, she's extremely private. So she showed me how sorry mama, but I've been embarrassing you for like years and years and years. So you should be used to this. But she showed me how to have sex with my husband, even though I don't feel like it. I'm not going to tell you the story. But it always was in my mind. And I know it's in the Bible that your body is not your own. And I don't know the specific scripture. But it always stuck in the back of my mind that, you know, sometimes as women, you know, we're grown on here. You don't always feel like it. Like you've had a long day, you're tired, you know, there's no self-care involved. You've taken care of everybody. You haven't even had a minute to breathe and here come your husband or my husband. What's happening, babe? And I'm like, ninja, you know what type of day I had? But then I had to get, you know, give me a minute. Let me go get my shower together. Let me get my bath together. Let me get my mind together and come back and serve you. So always in my mind, in the back of my mind was, you know, my mama to me was like Superwoman. She did it all. I'm going to talk about that later, but she did it all. Even when I know she didn't feel like it. But if it meant making sure that her marriage was straight, if it meant making sure her ministry was straight, if it meant, you know, her showing me, because, you know, your daughter is looking at you, she sees your relationship. If it meant that she was going to make sure that she did what she could do to make sure that we were all straight. And so I saw that through her marriage. I saw that through her life. And I just, you know, it didn't always happen that way, you know, with my husband or whatever, but I still in the back of my mind, because what you don't do, somebody else going to do too. So you need to get your mind right. And his. Ladies that are married, I'm just saying. I mean, sometimes that doesn't keep them from cheating, granted, I know, but you need to make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure your husband's mind don't wander, and put something on his mind that'll keep it from wandering. My mama showed me that. Can't tell y'all the story, but I just know I know. Okay. Sorry, mama, love you. Relationship advice. So my hair keeps getting stuck in my earrings. Relationship advice. Let's see. The man is the head of the household. So my mom made way more money than my dad. Even though my dad had a really, really good job, she had a really, really good job. So she made way more money. And also kind of helped him get on and pull him up. She was a great helpmeet to him. I believe that's what I saw. And, but she never made him feel like he was less than the head of the household. And really, even though she made more money, my dad was a man. Like that's when I knew, when I knew I was getting, you know, I already knew I was going to be married, but I knew I needed a man's man. Like I want a man that's going to handle business everywhere. So I knew I needed somebody that was a leader. I knew I needed, and I've spoken about this, that was stronger than me, because I do have a strong personality, and sometimes I need somebody to be like, hey, you need to pump your brakes, sis. Babe, listen. I need that man. And that was my dad. My dad was a man. He was the head of the household. He handled the bills in the household. Very organized. I'm going to talk about my dad and what he showed me in relationships as well. And that's going to be a funny video. But he was a man. And my mom always treated him as such. She treated him like the king of the house. Like I said, she physically she didn't talk about it, but she physically showed me what it was like to take care of your husband and make sure his every need was met. Now, did she slack somewhere? I'm sure she did, because I was a kid. I can't see all the ins and outs, but I saw where he did not want for anything. If he thought about it, he had it. And I knew when I was getting my husband, I knew this is how I'm supposed to do it. Because you can ask my husband, he'll be like, yeah, babe, you wasn't playing no games. And he'll tell you. I remember he told me, this was a year or so ago, or a couple of years ago, I don't know. But he said, you know what? And that's when this is when I was starting to get into entrepreneur. Is when he was saying, my old wife, he said, my old wife, or he said, no, my girlfriend will run circles around my new wife. And I'm like, ninja, whatever. But he was telling the truth, because once I got started doing entrepreneur stuff, I didn't know how to find a balance between home and, work. And it was kind of rough there, but we worked it out. But like how my mama treated my dad, that's how I definitely treated my husband. So he was pampered, and I have that in me anyway. I love to see him feel good. I love to see him, shine, period. And so when he feels good, he's going to make sure that I'm feeling good, or our daughter. Like if he's in a good mood, we're going to be in a good mood. And that's why with marriage, which I learned later, but as long as you're giving off, the positive, and you're being unselfish, and you're giving. When you're giving, he's going to give to you. So it's not even in the marriage about you. It's about the other person. So as long as I'm making him feel good, he's going to make sure that I'm straight. And so that was that on that. And that's what my mama showed me, that, just being, not being selfish in the marriage, that you always, are the giver. And when you give, you get it back. And to respect him, because when you all in his face, like, and I know marriage is not perfect. I got it. You're going to be fussing. I got it. But always respect him. Never belittle him. Never make him feel like he's less than. And I always try to be mindful to build my husband up, even when, I know he's kind of beating up on himself, because he's going to get beat up out in the world. So why would he come home and feel like he needs to get beat up on? And when you're encouraging him, it's just like a child. And I'm not calling, him a child or men children, but when you encourage and you support, and make them feel like they can do anything, they feel like they can. You know why? Because my wife, who says she loves me, said that I can do anything. And that's going to make them want to fight all the more. Well, I don't know what type of man you got, but this is just mine. Make them want to go out and do better. So we have to make sure that we're always speaking life to our husbands. Always, 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 no matter what the circumstance is, and no matter what the situation looks like. That's going to tie into a prayer for later on. So let's see. Head of the house, respect him. This is one I had a problem with. I'm going to be honest. What does it say? Always let him explain no matter what. So I got this piece. Hold on. This hair, sorry. Okay, so always let him explain no matter what. I had a problem with this. Specifically when we were dating, and I remember my mom giving me a tip on this. Let me see what I can tell about this. I had a few stories, actually. Me and Boo is my husband's nickname. Everybody call him Big Boo. So you will never hear me call his real name, because nobody calls him that but his deceased grandmother. So Big Boo. So when before Boo and I got married, we had some spats. We were the real live Jody and Vet from Baby Boy, if you've seen it. Like, I didn't play no games with him, but he was, yeah. So I remember we had a few situations, and my mom would always, she knew we were into it, and that's gonna go into something else here in a second about keeping your relationship private. But she knew we had a little issue, that she didn't know the extent of it, but she knew we had an issue, and she said, always let him explain. And I'm thinking, now look, I'm mama, I know what this is. And she said, it doesn't matter. Always let him explain, because what you think it is may not always be what it really is. So let him explain. Take all the facts that you know of, sit with it for a minute, and then move forward. Don't, and that was me. I'm like Judge Judy. If it don't sound right, it ain't right. But my mom was like, no, let him explain. Because sometimes we always think, because we're used to hearing lies, and we're used to, the cheating, or we're used to people not telling, whatever the truth is, the lies. Let him explain. And then sit on it and let him go from there. And so that always stuck with me. Let him explain. Now, did it always work in some instances? Because I'll be like, no, I'm going to shut this down because you lying. You lying. But as I grew, or am growing, I let him explain. And I shut my mouth, as hard as it is sometimes, and I let him explain. All right, babe, go ahead. What? Because, when you all up in... they're going to shut down anyway. No man wants to hear that. No man wants to hear you fuss. No man wants to hear all that rah, rah, rah. Because he's not going to open up to you anyway. But if you come to him calm and be like, okay, babe, what's happening? Go ahead, talk. Calm it down. Because see, now I know you can catch more bees with honey. That's what my mama always says. And she wasn't lying when she said what she said. When you're calm about certain situations, your situations don't always get handled properly. Always. Always. I don't care who it is. If it was with your husband, if it's with a coworker, if it's with a whoever, you can catch more flies with the honey. You can. And I'll let rah, 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 and I got to get this off my chest, and because you done made me mad, and I feel better, because it don't amount to a hill of beans. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get what you want, and you're going to get shut down. Now, you still mad. Talking about you got your feelings out. I'm just saying. Anyway, so I always let them explain. So that was one of the things. Keep your relationship private. This was the best advice she's ever given me, and it stuck in my head. This is when my husband and I were dating. We weren't even, and that's when I got most of the front end information. Keep your relationship private. So I'm very open. I'm very transparent. I do tell a great deal, but there's some things I hold to myself. The only time that I really go into detail is if I'm kind of off camera and I'm maybe coaching somebody, or I'm having a particular conversation and I felt led that the Holy Spirit would tell me to talk and share this information. But as far as like telling her things that I got going on with Boo, she said, don't tell me, because what's going to happen is y'all going to end up getting back together, whether y'all have an issue or not. He going to make you mad for a minute. You're going to be mad for a few days. And then you're going to come and tell me everything that happened. Then I'm going to be looking at him crazy. I'm verbatim because my mama doesn't talk like this. But not verbatim, but just kind of loosely talking. You're going to be mad at him. You're going to come talk to me. Then when you come talk to me, then I'm going to look at him crazy when he comes around. But then you still going to end up back with him. So why are you telling me about it? Which is the truth. We all know that. But we always need to have somebody to vent to, and whoop, 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 which is fine, because I believe that you always need to have somebody to talk to, but you have to have the right people to talk to. There's no way on God's green earth. I have a single friend. There's no way on God's green earth I would go and tell her anything that has to do with my husband when we having problems. Never. Never. She's never been married. I wouldn't talk to her. Because what advice is she going to give me? The people I would talk to are saved people who have been in a marriage for 20 plus years. That's who I'm going to go talk to, because they done been through some things. Yep. That's who I'm going to talk to. And I do have my friend. And the things that I've named on this paper, same thing she does for her husband. That's who I'm going to go talk to. I'm not going to go talk to my mama. For one, she told me not to. Because she know I'm going to be with him. She said the only time that you need to tell me something is when it's detrimental. Like you have to tell me. And you can't get around from not telling me. And I think I've only had to do that one time. And when I had to tell her, twice. And when I had to tell her, I was just like, man, mama. And that's because I really needed her. Like there was no way around me not telling her. We'll share that story at another time, because it's two really good ones. But, so keep your relationship private, because I'm telling you, especially if it's your mama or your daddy or your people, like your kin folks, and you running and telling them your business about your marriage or your relationship, they are going to be looking at your mate crazy. And just because you forget, and y'all know this, Just because you forgave them does not mean they are. And they're not going to forget everything you said. It's right here at the forefront of their mind. They're not going to forget. I don't listen. One thing about my husband is I've always tried my best, and probably has done him a disservice at some point. But I always want to cover him. I do. And I guess that's just the nurturing part in me, because it's just me. But I've always wanted to cover him so he's never seen in a bad light. Of course, you know that it's not always possible to do. But because of who he is to me, because how I love him, because of how he takes care of our daughter, our household, how he loves me, and not saying our stuff is perfect, but I know him, and I always want to cover him and make sure that he's in a safe space with me. So I don't want anybody looking at him bad. I don't. I don't. And I know sometimes, and that's a whole nother story, like I said, where I've tried to cover him too much and take the place of God in his life. And we'll talk about that later, because that's also in the prayer part of this. So, okay. Where are we at? The man is the head. I always let him explain. A relationship private. Serve your husband. He's the king of the house. I kind of touched on that. My mama didn't play games about that. So I had a prime example about that. Don't help too much, pray for your husband. So I guess that was kind of leading off into this. So there are some things that we all have, and my pastor actually talked about this yesterday about sin, which was a very, very good point. That let's say I think he gave the example of maybe your husband cheating, or looking at pornography, or lying, or something like that, I believe. And he said those things, the cheating, the lying, the pornography, is a root issue. So those things are the fruit of a root of sin that's in your life. So if your husband is cheating, if he's lying, if he's doing all this stuff, and you in his face like, you need to quit, and you did, and what, that's not doing anything but making him want to be like, shh, I'm finna go on back out here and do XYZ with Sheila, because I don't have to hear all this lip from you. When really you need to be praying for the root of the problem, which is sin, that God will turn his heart away from the sin and uproot whatever sin that's in him. And when he said that, I felt him like 150 million%, because I remember, like, listen, I can't really go into the story because we still kind of in that, but prayer, I don't know who is on here who's married and listening to what I'm saying right now, but I'm saying this with all seriousness. Prayer is extremely important. Specifically, it's important, period. But when you're married and there's something in your husband or your mate, if you're a man and a woman, in your mate's life that needs to be changed. If they out there cheating and lying and drinking and smoking or whatever, there's something inside that's deeper than what they're doing that's making them do that. Everybody has a reason for something. They ain't just out here willy-nilly. And then sometimes it could be something that's going on at home that you need to change in yourself. And that was another thing. I think I spoke about this, giving. When you are giving, and you can get it back. So if you're not giving any sex, if you don't do it, he gonna go back out there and do it. I'm just saying. Don't shoot the messenger. So, but sometimes you could be giving everything more than what you think, but then there's a sin problem. There's something on the inside of sin that needs to be prayed for, that only God can move. And I know there's been times in my husband's life where I wanted to cover him so much that I tried to play God. Not tried, but I was trying to help God get this stuff out of him, and only God could do it. So pray for your husband. It's extremely important. And no, God is not going to handle your husband the way you want him to be handled. Ask me how I know. I remember, I wish I could tell the story. You just have to pray. you know, how I wanted to cover my husband. Sometimes you want to cover them to where whatever the situation is, they won't hurt. But sometimes God allows things to happen for some stuff to get burnt out and cleaned out. But it's really all for your good. So prayer is extremely important. Praying for your spouse is extremely important. And my mama showed me that. And I've seen it work in my own marriage, period, hands down. It's still working. So just trust God. How to keep your house clean and presentable. So look, I'm gonna be straight up. Okay, I'm not the cleanest. I'm clean. Let me back that up. I'm clean. I'm messy sometimes. So that's what I like. I clean really, really well. So let me put that out there. I clean really well. I love to smell good. I love all that stuff. But you know, you take your stuff off and you just kind of toss it, or you may not hang it up, or you may wash and let it sit, or not sit, wash and let it sit, but wash, dry, let it sit. May not hang it up. My mama's house, okay, always clean. You can come. The only thing that you'll ever maybe see messy, and it's really not messy because the bed is still made, is her bed. That's it. Everything is always in place. I always really admired her for that, because with me, sometimes you might, if you try, you can't drop by my house. Like, yeah, no, you can't just be like, hey girl, I'm around the corner. No, you can't do that with me. No. I'm gonna have to move a little something. I'm gonna have to, but I'm working on it. I'm actually a whole lot better than I was, trust me, because an organized home and a clean home, when you come in, it's just a feeling that you get, that you can think and you can operate a lot better. So definitely a lot better than what it used to be. So just keep a clean and presentable home, organized. Still working on the organization, I guess. Well, we won't go down that rabbit trail, but still working on it, and still a lot better than what it used to be. But just keeping a clean home and presentable. I talked about that. Having house parties. I always be on time for work. So my mother always goes above and beyond with whatever she's working on. I mean, it's always been that way with her regular job, with her life. And for me, it's a mind thing. Like, I've always been the one, and I know I got to shake this. I know I've got to shake it. If I'm not interested in it, I'm going to be late. I may not even come. I'm working on it still. But she was that one who always instilled good work ethic in me. So, but when I do like something and I am interested in it, my work ethic is impeccable. Like, it's great. But it's just the things that I don't want to do that we gotta work on. So she instilled that. Don't lie, which I think I kind of talked about this earlier. I'm gonna share something with you, and I'm finished. I think that was it. But I used to lie a lot as a child. A lot. Oh, it was terrible. Like, it can be like, it's sunny out today, and you'll be like, I'll say it's raining, and you're like, well, it's like unnecessary lies. Like, it was terrible. And I remember my dad, which cut me from lying completely. My dad said, sorry about that. My dad said, you know, you lie so much. I can't believe a word you said. And he was very calm about it, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And from that point on, I said, I'm going to always try my best to tell the truth. And I think one reason why I'm so happy about giving information when I find it, and somebody turning around and using it, and it works for them, that makes me happy, because I had a past where I lied a lot, just lied about nothing. And then I remember a friend of mine, I shared that with her. She was a friend at the time, and I had shared that with her, saying, you know, well, I used to lie a lot. And then I remember her coming back around and bringing that and throwing it in my face. And it really hurt my feelings, because I'm like, how dare you use something that I shared with you privately to kind of, it almost like it hurt. And I was like, we're not going to be friends too much longer. But I kind of knew that anyway, but I just kind of threw that out there. So for me, when somebody lies or kind of is secretive or half truths about something, that goes all over me, because you do not have to lie about anything. Like, and I know people, I get it. You know, if I tell them the truth, they're going to feel a certain way. And I think I just talked about this, but it's still on my list. Be straight up with me. If you're dealing with me in any capacity, whatever the capacity is, please do not lie to me about anything. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Just tell me the truth. Because I at least you gave me something to deal with, and we can move from there. You know what I'm saying? We can move from there. So anyway, I think that's it. Check out, I have openings for the staycation event. Everybody did not pay, which I don't understand. Everybody paid their deposit, but we still have openings. So we have openings. I think we have about 20 openings for the staycation event, I believe. The cost is $75. It is in Pigeon Forge. What I'm going to try to do today is get some other hotels, cheaper hotels, because people are kind of complaining. Some people are complaining about the price of the hotel that we're staying in. It is fairly expensive. It's $249 a night. However, I like the best, and that hotel is a nice new hotel. It's, you know, yeah, and you got to pay to play. But if you have roommates that you can help share the cost with that. But there's some other hotels in the area that I will try to get you prices on for that. And so we do have openings for that, and I will also put the link below about that. You can check out my site on All Things Regan. I'm trying to think what I have upcoming. So I've been wanting to go to Roof Chris and just kind of have some time to myself. I'm really working on self-care, and like I said, trying to do it every day or every night. And I've been wanting to go to Roof Chris and get some stuffed chicken and some mashed potatoes and some lobster mac. Yum, yum, yum. So going to do that and get pedicures. So we're going to do that on September the 15th. And so I think I have 8 openings left. I'm not sure. Inbox me. Talk to me directly if you're going to go. I do have a running list, because, you know, you put those events out on Facebook and they really don't. You say you got 100 people coming and they really don't. So just inbox me and let me know directly that you're coming. You do not have to pay me anything. You're just paying for your pedicure, and you're going to pay for your meal, and that'll be whatever you get. So just let me know if you want to come to dinner or come to both, or just one or the other, because we only had a total of 15 spots for that. That's on the 15th. I also have an upcoming candle making girls night out party. That will be October the 20th. Tickets will go on sale in the next few weeks. I'll put that up. I think the cost is $35 for that. $35. That comes with food and your candle and decorations and things of that nature. We'll have music, food, and whatever there, and desserts and things of that nature again. November, I think we have a movie, but I'm not sure. Just check on All Things Regan, or just go to All Things Regan on Facebook, Instagram, or my page, allthingsregan.com, or my personal page, because sometimes I'll post what's going on in my business on my personal page. So I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The next one I'm going to do is what my daddy taught me about life and love and sex and boys, and that will be an interesting conversation. I actually might do it tomorrow. We'll see. So you guys have a great day. I will talk to you later, and I guess a blessed week if I don't talk back to you, but we shall see. I don't want to make any promises. You guys have a blessed day. Talk to you later. Bye.